Dear friends, the political love affair between Benjamin Netanyahu and Donald Trump is nothing short of legendary. This isn't your average alliance, it's an epic bromance. Netanyahu, Israel's prime minister, went to extraordinary lengths to prevent Joe Biden from becoming president. He wasn't just vocal, he actively backed Trump's campaign, even abandoning his post in Israel to travel to the US. Take July, for instance. Trump hadn't even secured his second term yet, but Netanyahu and his wife were already being lavishly hosted at Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida. That's how close they were. But now that great affection is rapidly spiraling into a vortex of love and hate. And mark my words, if this continues, you'll soon start seeing headlines across global media claiming Trump is mentally unstable, unfit to lead America, possibly even suffering from dementia like Biden. These won't be isolated takes. Israel, much like in Hollywood or the film industry, has an incredibly powerful media lobby. If they decide Trump has gone off the rails, they bring him down. Why? Because he's burned Israel on Iran twice now. That's right, he them, to put it bluntly. In early April, Netanyahu rushed to Washington, hoping to push forward a military operation to destroy Iran's nuclear infrastructure. He thought the conditions were ripe. But Trump, standing right next to him, said, "Donald Trump, why should I go to war with Iran? I believe we can talk. I think we'll reach an agreement. And I want the Iranian people to live prosperous lives." That was a punch in the gut. Soon after, secret nuclear talks began between the United States and Iran, brokered by Oman. Iran's foreign minister and top negotiators met US officials in Muscat and Rome. A fourth round of meetings is reportedly happening soon. Netanyahu lost his mind. His entire doctrine is simple. Anyone who causes me trouble, let's strike first, destroy everything, and think about the rest later. That's the whole strategy. It's how they view Turkey too. If Turkey weren't a NATO member, they'd have targeted it long ago. NATO is a shield, not because Europeans would rush to our aid, but because attacking a NATO country carries enormous legal and global repercussions. That's the only reason they hold back. Back to the story. Just as Israel was reeling from the shock of the US-Iran détente, Canada's new Prime Minister, Mark Carney, a bold man with real courage, visited the White House and had a tense exchange with Trump. When Trump tried to flex, Carney snapped back, "Mark Carney, Canada is not for sale." But then came the bombshell. During that same Oval Office press conference with Carney, he announced a ceasefire with the Houthis. Everyone was stunned. Wait, weren't you bombing them just days ago? We've come to a peaceful agreement, and we're halting operations against the Houthis. He dropped this announcement at a time when Houthi ballistic missiles had just struck Israel's Ben Gurion airport. The very next day, Israeli warplanes retaliated in Yemen, targeting Sana'a airport and other locations. Then comes the American president saying, "Donald Trump, we've reached a ceasefire with the Houthis," and Netanyahu hears this live during a press conference. No warning, no consultation, nothing. Steve Witkoff, the US negotiator, had quietly flown to Oman last week. The Americans and Iranians coordinated closely. Iran pressured the Houthis, saying, Iranian official, VO, "Look, we've got delicate nuclear negotiations going on. If you stop attacking American and Western commercial vessels, especially if that decision appears to come from us, it'll be very helpful." The Houthis agreed. Attacks in the Red Sea and Bab el-Mandeb stopped. Western fleets were no longer targeted. And here's what really infuriated Israel. They weren't even part of the deal. America struck a ceasefire with the Houthis, but only for their own interests. Houthi spokesperson Mohammed Abdul Salam told Reuters that the ceasefire does not apply to Israel. He said as long as the massacre in Gaza continues, ballistic missiles from Yemen will keep flying toward Israel. So, what does this mean? 1. Israel's entire strategy has collapsed. 2. Despite their efforts, the United States has made it clear they have no intention of going to war with Iran. 3. And Trump, he's now seen as an unpredictable liability. That's why I'm telling you, don't be surprised when global media outlets start releasing piece after piece declaring Trump is unfit to govern. Let's wrap this up before it gets worse. You'll see. Take care, everyone.